Right. So let's take today in this session, we're going to cover audit risk and planning. So in your final exam, students, definitely you will get one audit risk question. The verbs already I discussed, right? So section A also is possible. Then it is tested along with section A, ISA 300, ISA 320, ISA 330, and ISA 315. So ISA 300, if I take, that is about audit planning. ISA 320 is about materiality. ISA 330 is about interim and final audit, and ISA 315 understanding the business entity. Understanding the business entity. All these things together can be tested. And section B, there are questions possible from this. Right, so this time I'm expecting mainly two types of question. One is they might ask you to identify risk of material misstatement, or audit risk. Risk of material misstatement or audit risk, right? And analytical review procedures plus audit risk. Analytical review procedures plus audit risk. So I expect either audit risk or risk of material misstatement question, or analytical review procedures plus audit risk questions. One of these definitely it's tested in your exam. Now, you should know how to approach audit risk answers. As I told you, identify risk and response to risk type of questions means always we should focus on the key issue. So because most of the time the scenarios, see here, if I take scenarios include inherent risk, scenarios include control risk, scenarios include detection risk. So scenarios include inherent risk, scenario include control risk, scenarios include detection risk, all three. So here students, inherent risk, control risk, detection risk we discussed in the class, but this time in your exam I'm expecting more inherent risk, maybe 90%. So 90% of this inherent risk, see here, if I take inherent risk, as I told you, 90% of the scenario covers inherent risk. There are two types of case combinations possible. One is confirmed misstatement. Two is possible misstatement. One is confirmed misstatement, two is possible misstatement. See, confirmed misstatements, the breach of standard. Possible misstatement, which is not a breach of standard. right? These are the two perspectives examiner can test inherenters within the story. This time, if I take these two perspectives, examiner can test these areas. For example, IAS2 inventory, inventory related valuation in NRV. So I'm expecting inventory related possible issue or inventory related confirmed issue. That is also, there is a possibility it can be a valuation related problem, or it can be a net realizable value cost related problem. Can be, right? That is possible. So this time also I'm expecting that can be included in your case study, right? So first of all, just copy this. Then I'll one by one, I'll give you what sort of areas that you need to prioritize when you are doing audit risk question or when you are preparing for audit risk exams. Copy this. Now students, so in your paper, there is a possibility examiner might capture IAS2 related problem. That IAS2 related problem can be a valuation problem or NRV issue. Second, I'm giving possible combinations. Second one, IAS 16 property, plant and equipment. It can be capital expense related one. That means classification, capital revenue expenditure, or revision of useful life, or revaluation or cost related issue. Cost related issue. So this is one of this possible in your IAS 16. When we are talking about the auditor's case study, that you should focus. Third one, IAS 37 provision. So fault the product, customer complaint, warranty issue, legal case, non-compliance with legality. So any of these can be possible when it comes to IAS 37. Then IAS 10, subsequent event. Especially IAS 10 subsequent event, adjusting or non-adjusting event. So that is about IAS 10. IAS 38, intangible asset. Purchased intangibles, amortized cost, research and development cost. Research and development. So focus on these areas also in your exam. Apart from that, it can be apart from that, it can be pressure from management, expect early results, which means they are pushing auditor to provide the results soon as possible, too early. Bonus, dividend declaration, right? So all these type of things you should keep in your mind. All these type of things you should keep when you are handling this case studies, right? Just copy this. Copy this. Right. Now, students, let's move to one question that I told you last class. This is procedure related question. This is procedure related question. Just read this question first. Just read this question first. Just read this question first. So if you look at this particular question, it deals with substantive procedures, because if you look at here, they gave financial information also. Read this question. Yes, see, the following scenario is related to question number 1 to 5. It is 1st July 2005. You are the audit senior in the audit team of M and Company, which manufactures and sells tables and chairs directly to the public. You have been assigned the current liability section of the audit. The breakdown of current liability is shown in M Company's statement of financial position as follows. Payable, notes number 1, last year balance is 816,870. But this year it become 884,824. Accruals 51,551. 2005 it's become 56,903. Provision for legal action. Last year there is no provision, but this year we recognized a provision of 60,000. So if you look at the three balances, 2004, 868,368, 2005, 884,824, 56,903, 60,000, total 1,01,727. So these are the values. Now they gave the notes, so we should read the notes in order to understand ourselves over this. Trade payable note number 1, and it said Metcalf company purchases raw materials from 6 major suppliers and uses a number of other suppliers ad hoc basis. So they are purchasing from raw materials from 6 major suppliers. The major supplier, I can say registered supplier, accruals relating to operating cost. Accruals relate to operating cost such as electricity, telephone, water, staff cost, and goods received not invoiced. Good received not invoiced. And the third one, the provision for legal action The provision for legal action relates to a claim from a customer who suffered an injury in 2005 while assembling a chair supplied by Metcalf Company. The customer claims that the assembly instructions were not fully or sufficiently clear and injury was suffered as a result. The directors of Metcalf Company dispute the claim, saying that is the first claim of kind and other customers who purchase the same product have not experienced any issue. Have not experienced any issues. The company's lawyers have recommended that the claim settled out of court to avoid damaging publicity and Metcalf Company and reducing the cost and time involved with the claim. The directors have decided to follow lawyers' recommendation. Early results means what? Okay, there are a few questions. Early results means that we, simple terms like, let's say the year end, after the year end on the audit is commenced. Normally audit is, we are doing audit for a period of 6 months. We are doing audit for the period of 6 months. Finance director is pushing audit team to get the results within 1 month. That is early results. That is early results. Okay, so pushing to get results soon. Okay. So can you share this question in the group? 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I think I shared. One minute, students. I'll share that. I share. Check whether you have received. Right. So here see, accruals relating to operating costs such as electricity, telephone, water, that information is given. Question, which of the procedures does not test completeness? Does not test completeness. So completeness is an assertion. Completeness is an assertion. But here, which of the following procedures does not test completeness of company's liability? So liability is a balance sheet item. Liability is a balance sheet item, and they are asking which one will not test completeness. Which one will not test completeness? So that is the question. So if you look at here, inspect post year end payments. Post year end payments means after the year end, the payment. That is we call post year end payment. Inspect post year end payments and for payments relating to items delivered before the year end. Trace through the year end trade payable listing and accrual listing. So actually the first one is completeness. Review invoices post year end, trace to GRN and purchase invoice. GRN purchase invoice, left to right. Again completeness. Trace sample of invoices listed in the trade payable listing. to the actual invoice and good receipt note. This is existence. This is existence because in the balance sheet assertion, existence also an assertion. Review board minutes to identify any further claims have been brought against the Metcalf company. That is also complete. Correct answer is C, where we check the existence, not completeness. Copy this. Now students, rest of the questions, 3 questions. Question number 2, question number 3 and question number 4. Please complete these questions. Please complete these questions now. Sir, can you explain how to identify assertions, the case study question? See, whatever the process that you go, for example, sales system, if you take sales related item, you should go with the sales system. So if you take left to right, for example, order, good dispatch, sales invoice, this is left to right order. If your procedure is moving towards this order, goods dispatch, sales invoice, in that direction, that is called left to right direction, this ensure completeness. Right to left direction, which means sales recorded, good dispatch, order accepted. That is occurrence. That is occurrence. So right to left is completeness, left to right is occurrence. Right. With that knowledge, let's move to the case here. Question. Which of the following analytical procedures, we studied AR, analytical review procedures, that comes under ISA 520, not to be performed by the auditor? Which of the following analytical procedures would not be performed by the auditor of Metcalf? Calculate trade payables payment period, compare with the prior year, investigate any significant variance. That is correct. Compare the trade payable balance current year with the prior year, investigate any significant variance. Correct. Compare accrual balance of the current year, prior year. Accrual balance is balance sheet figure. Balance sheet figure. So I told you normally income statement figure, yes, we can compare with the previous values. But you can't compare the accruals. See here. Compare the accrual balance of the current year with the prior year. If you look at these accruals, current year, let's say accrued balance, previous year accrued balance, and investigate any significant differences. That is also fine, because when it comes to accruals, accruals do not include the previous balance into the current balance. Compare the provision legal action balance of the current year with the prior year, investigating significant variance. Here see, the legal provision is not a balance. It is expected to exist on a regular basis. Fine. So if you look at legal action is not a regular basis. So you can't compare with the previous year in this case. Correct answer is D. You can't compare it because apple should be treated with apple, right? That's what I told you. Normally, when it comes to financials, income statement elements, periodic transactions. So we can compare current year with the previous, right? Question number 3. In relation to the provision of legal action, which of the following statements true? In relation to the provision of legal action, which of the following statements true? Here seen, a contingent liability should be disclosed as the directors dispute the claim. A provision should be recognized likely to be settled out of court. Yes, exactly here the answer is B. You should recognize provision. The claim is likely to be settled out of. Provision should be recognized when the claim is settled, no, when the claim is made. Because provision is recognized when that particular obligation is exist. not the time of the payment. Fourth one, audit opinion will be modified. No, correct answer is B. Question number 4. Which of the following procedures not be performed in respect of the legal claim? In respect of the legal claim. First point, obtain an external confirmation from the customer that they have made a claim and will be willing to accept out of the court settlement. Inspect correspondence of the lawyers, correct. Review board minutes, director's decision, correct. Inspect posterior and bank statement and out of court settlement have been made, right? But obtain external confirmation from the customer who made the claim. Normally, if you look at the legal claims, you can't claim or you can't ask them to obtain confirmation. Correct answer is A. Even if you ask, they won't respond. They won't respond. Question number 5. Which two of the following, each question carries 2 marks. Which of the following statements are true? Supplier statement reconciliation confirm the financial statement assertions of rights and obligation and existence. Rights and obligation and existence. Supplier statement reconciliation confirm the financial statement assertion, rights and obligation. Second one, provisions are inherently risky as they are often subjective and a matter of management judgment. Existence is the key risk when testing payables. Accruals are not usually tested in detail as they are usually immaterial. Which two of the statements are true? Supplier statement reconciliations, rights and obligation, correct. Provision inherently risky and subject to matter of management judgments, correct. Number 1 and number 2, correct answer is B. Number 1 and number 2, correct answer is B. Now students, let's read this scenario and finish it off 6 to 10. Question number 6 to 10. Finished it off. 1st of July 2005, you are the manager responsible for the audit of OCC, a company which provides telecommunication to companies. The audit of financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2005 nearing completion, and the auditor's report is due to be signed next week. The financial statements show audit report due to sign next week. So this is what duty? Active duty. Standard is ISA 560. The financial statements show profit before tax 7 million. The following events have identified during a review most recent board meets. Number one is customer liquidation. On 15th May 2005, OCC received a letter from a firm of insolvency practitioners informing it that one of its customers had gone to liquidation. An amount of 50,000 included in receivables in the statement of financial position 31st March 2005 in respect of to this customer. The letter states that the unsecured creditors such as OCC are unlikely to receive any monies when the assets of the company are sold. 1st of June 2005, the regulator for the telecommunication industry informed OCC that new regulation will come into enforce in March 2006. There is a new law. OCC has estimated that the cost of approximately $1 million will need to be spent become compliant with new regulations. Complete the following sentences using the words given below. The debt 50,000. The debt 50,000 not material as it represents 0.7% profit before tax. The liquidation of a customer, the liquidation of the customer the liquidation of a customer with a debt owing at the year end. The liquidation of the customer with a debt owing at the year end. Adjusting event. Because the original condition exists during the financial period. The cost of complying with the new regulation. The cost of complying with new regulation. Material to financial statement since it is representing 14% of the tax. Profit before tax. The cost of complying with the new regulation is non-adjusting event. These are the answers. So in ethics chapter, you gave 14 case study examples. Yes, more is there. Yes, correct. Mostly, if you practice all the threads 40 to 45, yes, repeatedly those things only will test. So this is the answer for this question. And which of the following is the most appropriate action OCC should take in respect of the liquidation of the customer? Which of the following is most appropriate action OCC should take in respect of the liquidation of the customer. A, B, C, D. Irrecoverable debt should be write off in the financial year. Yes, it's an adjusting event. This is the correct answer. Which of the following most appropriate action OCC should take in respect of new regulation? So, non-adjusting event, disclosure is required. This is the correct answer. Taking liquidation to customer is isolation. Customer in isolation. Choose the most appropriate audit opinion and opinion wording if no action is taken by OCC. If no action is taken by OCC, unmodified and financial statement give true and fair. Because it is not material, therefore this is the answer. Question number 10. Taking the regulation isolation with appropriate audit opinion, the wording no action is taken by OCC. New regulation, no action is taken by OCC. Qualified and give 2 marks for that, except for P. So these are the answers for the 5 questions. So advice on theory question. So advice on theory questions. I didn't get, like, see, normally the theory questions I told you. Okay, after finishing this, I'll come to the theory portions. Wait. Now try third scenario 11 to 15. Do it. Question number 11 to 15. Try out this. Try out next 5 questions. question number 11 to question number 15. You are audit manager in Smith and Johns, responsible for the audit of chip and pay company which manufactures high quality premium snack foods. The following issues have been arise during the audit. Located around the client premises are display stands of chips and prescriptions which are available for any visitors in the site. The audit team have been told finance director to help themselves to as many packets as they like during the audit. Due to growth of the company, the board of directors decided it would like to follow best practice corporate governance principles in readiness for becoming listed in few years' time. The company currently has an audit committee made up of the finance director and two non-executive directors. The non-executive director were executive directors of the company until retirement 3 years ago. The company does not have internal audit function. The board has asked for your advice on how they should become compliant with the requirements of corporate governance best practice as well as how they can improve internal controls. In respect of the in respect of the offer snacks, which of the following statements are true? Gift can be accepted insignificant. That is correct. Risk can be bribed. No. The officer's next to be referred as originating partner and the decision to accept or reject the offer should be documented on the audit. Correct answer is A, 1 and 3. The most significant threat, the most significant threat, the finance director Margaret Lewis recently been recruited from your firm. Familiarity threat. The audit team can help themselves to many packets of chips and pretzels as they like during the audit. Self-interest. The finance director has instructed you she is not to be disturbed by excessive question. That is we call intimidation threat. She is pressuring us. Actual pressure and perceived pressure. The board has asked for advice on corporate governance best practice and internal controls. Self-review. So all for correct give win marks. Question number 13. Which of the following statement best describe the action auditor should take in respect of the request for no one other than audit manager to ask question during the weekly meeting? Resign from the audit, that is wrong because resignation area we discussed. Normally, if you are not competent or management integrity is questionable, so unable to continue the audit like. Other than that, you can't resign. Ask the finance director request urgent information can be made via mail. All other questions will be asked during the weekly meeting. Communicate the difficulties encountered with the finance director to the audit committee. Which of the following is the best described action auditor should take? Correct answer is C. Which three of the following elements required comply with corporate governance best practice? Audit committee, nomination committee, remuneration committee. Which of the following statements are true in respect of audit committee? The two non-executive directors not members of audit committee, correct? The finance director should not. The finance director should not be a member of audit committee, correct? Because audit committee independent non-executive directors. Audit committee independent non-executive directors. At least two non-executive director, no previous relationship with the company, no everyone. Yes, if you look at independent non-executive directors. So question number 15 is 1, 2, 3. Answer is question number 13. Correct answer is C. Which of the following statements best describe the action auditor should take in respect of the request for no other than the audit manager asks questions during the weekly meeting? Correct answers given here, C. Right. Now students, total 30 marks. How many of you all scored more than 20? How many of you all scored more than 20? Sir, 14. Correct answer, audit committee, nomination committee and remuneration committee. Three following elements are required to comply with corporate governance best practice. See here, the risk committee also you can put, but in order to identify the primary function, yes, audit committee, nomination committee, and remuneration committee. Those are the primary committees, right? That's why we didn't include that. Is that clear, Abdullah? Right. Now time is 3 o'clock. Students take a break. I'll start at 3:50 and we'll start with section B. We'll start with section B. Okay, take a break. Why not risk committee? Question number B section. See here. For control objectives of payroll system, they ask us to identify control objectives of payroll system. So why we should implement controls over payroll? Why we should implement controls over payroll? See, it's a theory question which comes under internal control topic. Why we should implement controls over payroll system? For example, like I can say, to ensure there is no bogus employees, there is no ghost employees, to ensure the payment is correctly calculated to those employees, and payment is made on time to the employees, and payment is not duplicated for the employees, and the payment is made only for the work they did. All these are objectives. All these are objectives that we are trying to achieve, right? And also the payment is given to the correct employee for genuine reason or genuine employees, right? And also to ensure whatever the amounts of payroll recorded in the accounts or the system is complete and accurate. All these are objectives. All these are objectives of payroll system. And in respect of wages recording, I will share the answer for these questions, right? I will share answer scheme for this question after the session. In respect of wages recordings and payment system, explain 5 deficiencies in the system. They ask us to identify 5 deficiency in the wages system or else payroll system. So the deficiencies they ask, and for each deficiencies they ask recommendation. So try to understand one thing. When they said it is a recommendation, they asking us to write down controls, right? Control deficiency means control activity not met, control objective. Control activity not met, control objective. That is some we call control deficiency. But recommendation means we should recommend a control to resolve that particular deficiency, which means control activity met control objective, a sound control, effective control. Third one, describe test of control. Describe what control? Test of control the auditor would perform to assess. So test of control means the recommendation what we given here. For the recommendation, you should write a procedure. How you going to test the recommendation? How you going to test the recommendation? That is called test of control. Right. Now let's see the question. Right. See here. B company assemble specialized motor vehicles such as lorries, buses, and trucks. The company owns 4 assembly plants, of which parts are delivered, assembled into motor vehicles. The factory workers normally work a standard 8-hour day, although this is supplemented by overtime on a regular basis, as B has a full order. There is 1 shift per day. Mass production and around the clock working are not possible due to the specialized nature of the motor vehicles being assembled. Wages system, shift workers. Shift workers arrive for work about 7 a.m. and clock in using electronic identification card. The card is scanned by the time recording system, and each production shift worker's identification number is read from their card by scanner. The worker is logged in as being at work. Shift workers are paid from the time login. The login process is not monitored. Login process is not monitored. This is the control deficiency. So employees can bring cards for absent employees, and they can assemble the so in that case they can scan and they can identify it as paid worker. So by that, what will happen is cost of the company, payroll cost will be overstated, payroll cost will increase. That is the deficiency. So the recommendation is the shift manager should observe the login and logout process, or else you can take CCTV also, no problem. And test of control, what we can do is we can observe the shift manager monitoring the logging process. How the login process is happening, this should be observed by shift manager. This should be observed by shift manager. Right? That is the test of control. And at least 400 vehicles have to be manufactured each day by each work group. If necessary, overtime is worked to complete the day's quota of vehicles. The shift foreman is not required to monitor the extent of any overtime working, although the foreman does ensure workers are not taking unnecessary or prolonged breaks, which would automatically increase the amount of overtime pay. So if they take unnecessary or prolonged breaks, that automatically increase the amount of overtime work. So actually the overtime work here is not properly authorized by the official, because let's say this is happening, the same thing happening in Sri Lankan hospitals most of the time, because most of the doctors, what they do is they claim overtime, because some doctors they might stay at their private practice but still claim overtime. Unnecessary or prolonged breaks, if you delayed your work or you take more breaks, that will create additional hours to perform that job. So you are taking it as an overtime. That is the loophole here. Why that? What will happen? It is an additional cost to the company, because a company should pay salary plus company should pay overtime for the work. By that, yes, the cost is overstated. So what we should do is the overtime requirement, or all the overtime should be authorized and monitored by the shift manager. And we should, test of control, we should inspect whether the system of overtime sheets to check whether it is authorized by the shift manager. Normally overtime, there is an overtime sheet. Fine. So in that overtime sheet should be approved and authorized by whom? Shift manager. Sir, for audit risk and control, can we write the answer in one paragraph? Yes, you can write answer in one paragraph. No problem. Details of hours worked each week are sent electronically to payroll department, okay, where hours work are allocated by the computerized wages system to each employee's wages records. Staff in the payroll department compare hours worked from the time recording system to the computerized wages system and enter a code word to confirm the accuracy of transfer. The code word also acts as authorization to calculate net wage. The code word name of a domestic cut belonging to the department head, therefore generally known in the department. So control is deficient. Right. For example, let's say the password of Wi-Fi PPIM, right? Password is PPIM. Is it safe? It is not safe. It's a general control, and I can say it's a physical control. Passwords are general controls. So passwords, it's a control, but that control is not effective here. Code word authorization, accuracy, time work to the wages system name, cat of a domestic cat of the department head. It is not secure. So there is a possibility of fraudulent payments can be made. There is a possibility of fraudulent payment can be made. So the recommendation is the code word should be based on characteristics, numbers, and the letter combination of this. So simply we should inquire payroll manager what are the current password, right? And you should check how frequently these passwords are get updated. How frequently these passwords, because normally as a control at organization, if you are implementing any passwords, the password should be periodically uh, reviewed. The password should be periodically changed. How frequently you're changing the passwords. The list of net pay of each employee is sent to Blake's internal network to the accounts department. The accounts department, accounts clerk ensure that employee bank details are on file. The clerk then authorizes and make payment to those employees using Blake's online banking system. Every few weeks, the financial accountant reviews the total amount wages made to ensure the management accounts are accurate. So here if you look at the list of net pay for each employee sent to internal network accounts department. So the total amount of net wages not agreed, that list is not shared. Actually they are sharing the list of what? Net pay. So additional errors possible here. Right. When employee leave B and company, personal department, that is called HR department, send email to payroll department detailing employee's termination date and unclaimed holiday pay. The receipt of the email by payroll department not monitored by a personal department. Simply, whatever the amount, the employees leave, personal department send an email to. So if you are not doing that, what will happen? Incorrect payments are made to employees. Incorrect payments are made to employees. Question number part C. Sir, can clerk only authorize and make payment? Normally, authorization should not come from the clerk. Authorization should come from the tactical level. Right? So for control and auditors, can we just copy and paste the case study without summarizing the issue? If you can copy and paste, but it take more time to do. When you are trying to do that, it consume more time. If you can manage time, no problem. Describe substantive procedure auditor should perform over payroll figure. So here the question is very straightforward, right? They ask us to write down substantive procedure. Therefore, you can write test of detail and analytical review procedures over what figure? A payroll figure, right? So I'll share you the what answer scheme. Then you can see. So here you can write test of detail and ARP. It's a straightforward question, element of financial statement. Explain the impact of outsourcing payroll function on the external audit of Blake. When we outsource payroll function to a third party organization, external auditor need to rely on that third party organization. Right? Because external auditor is gathering evidence from whom? From that third party organization. Therefore, in this case, in this situation, right, there are several factors to be considered by this external auditor before relying the work of third party organization. Before relying third party organization. So it is comes under ISA 402. Don't forget these things. It is comes under ISA 402 service organization. So here the service provided by the company is comes under what? Service organization. So type 1, type 2 reports are required. What is type 1 report? Whether control exists or not. What is type 2 report? Whether control is effective or not. Who should do that? The auditor should do this to ensure that control environment is strong at the client place, especially service organization. Right. If you are not satisfied with the control reports of that service organization, yes, external auditor can do visit to that service organization and perform test of control that is comes under ISA 402 that we already studied. The topic is audit evidence. It is 1st of July 2005. Your firm has recently accepted appointment as auditor of W and Company, small car manufacturer. The audit engagement partner recently attended a planning meeting with William. Finance director has left the following notes. Performance in the first half of the year was stronger than the same period in 2004. However, due to a series of safety issues with some cars, sales in the second half were not as strong, resulting in an overall reduction in revenue compared with the prior year. All cars are sold with 5-year warranty, which enables customers who experience problem with their car that are not due to normal usage and wear and tear to take the car to an approved mechanic for repair or replacement free of charge. During the year, 50 customers experienced severe safety issues, so their car as a result of suing W and Company. The matter has not yet been brought to court, given the circumstances of safety issues. W's lawyers believe an out-of-court settlement will be less costly and less risky than allowing the matter to settle by the court. The company replaced significant part of production line during the year, improved the quality of production following safety issues. As a result of the disposal of old equipment, there is a significant loss of disposal recognized in the statement of profit or loss. The company also revalued its factory premises 3 months before the year end to a value of 5 million. The valuation figure is used in the financial statements. In order to finance replacement of production line, W company took out a 5-year loan for 3 million, which is repayable in quarterly installment. So they gave financial figures also. So ARP question. ARP question. Part A. Calculate these ratios for 2 years. 2004 and 2005. Calculate these ratios first. Students, calculate these ratios first. You all know how to handle ARP auditor's question. First, calculate the ratios which I asked you to calculate, then read the case study and pick the risk, then relate the ARP findings with the case study, then write your answer, right? First, find out both 2004, 2005. Yeah, right. Do it. For control, okay. See here, gross profit margin, inventory period, receivable period, payable period, current ratio. Don't forget to calculate what? Efficiency ratios again and again, I'm telling, right? So let's make it the answer here, 35.9% gross profit, 35.5% gross profit. Inventory holding period 32 days. Inventory holding period 23 days. Receivable collection period 41 days. Receivable collection period 31 days. Payable payment period 37 days. Here it's 28 days. Current ratio 1.54. Current ratio 1.39. So these are the values of the ratios. But the next question is, they ask us to identify 5 audit risks. So when you are doing a question along with audit risk ARP, you should take ARP findings separately. You should read case study separately, and you should connect any case study line supported with ARP. That should be merged together when you are writing your answer. Fine. So with this knowledge, let's move to the case study. So the first one, 1st of July 2005, your firm has recently appointed as auditor of W and Company, a small car manufacturer. The audit engagement partner has recently attended a planning meeting with William Harris, finance director, has left the following notes. So the notes given here. Performance in the first half of the year was stronger than same period in 2004. However, due to series of safety issues, due to safety issues with some cars, sales in the second half were not strong. Overall reduction compared with the prior year. Right? So your firm here, see the first paragraph they're telling, your firm is recently appointed as a auditor. So new recruitment, appointment. So detection risk is very high. Detection risk is very high. Performance in the first, so that is first one. Performance the first half of the year stronger than the same period 2004. However, due to series of safety issues, some cars below sales second half was not strong. Overall reduction in the revenue. Right. All cars are sold for 5-year build warranty, which enable customer experiencing problem. So this is about IAS 37 provision contingent asset contingent liability standard. So if you look at here, the all cars are sold with 5-year warranty. Directors need to estimate the potential cost of repair and create a provision for that, right? And this is a subjective estimate, and always IAS 10 37 standard clearly said the estimation need to be it's a constructive obligation. It's not just an obligation, it's a constructive obligation, and it should be a best estimate, so always that you should keep in your mind. It should be a best estimate when it comes to provision. So if you not do that, obviously understatement or overstatement of provision is possible. So what you should do is you should see whether the provision recognized in the financial statement, whether it is sufficient or not. For that, what we can do is we can compare the provision to a mixture of forecast, post year, and the claim received in the following year. So how much of provision recognized in the forecast, subsequently in the post year end, how much of provision claimed. Through that we can ensure the completeness of that provision. And also 50 customers experience severe safety issues their car, and as a result of some V company. The matter has not yet been brought to court. Give the circumstances of safety issue. W lawyers believe out of court settlement will be less costly and less risky than allowing the matter to settle by the court. Right. So the lawyers believe out of the settlement of this case is most appropriate. So there is a probable payment. So the liabilities exist. Right. So obviously it should create a liability. So third one. So liability existence. So sufficient liability should be created. First 12-month liability is treated as current liability. Any liability more than 12 months should be treated as non-current liability, that you should mention here. This is also a classification problem. The company replaced the significant part of its production line during the year to improve the quality production following safety issue. As a result of disposal, the old equipment, there is a significant loss on disposal recognized in the statement of PN. See here, the production line is replaced. Expenses may have been capitalized in the asset. And also, if you look at here, the company replaced significant part of its production line during the year, improve the quality. As a result of disposal of the old equipment, the significant loss of disposal recognized. The company also revalued factory premises 3 months before the year end, 5 million, the valuation figure used in the financial statements. So when we are talking about this revaluation 3 months ago, there is a possibility the premises could be overstated, because simply the revaluation should be in line with IA 16 property plant and equipment. So standard IA 16 property plant and equipment clearly said all class of assets should be revalued at once. All class of assets should be revalued at once. If you are not complying with that, obviously PP property plant and equipment is subject to mistakes. Right? So apart from that, you can take the credit risk here. You can take the credit risk here because receivable days are 31 days, now become 41 days. So extended credit limit receivables might be overstated, that you can take. And also in terms of finance, if you look at here, in terms of finance, if you look at here, they took a 5-year loan during this year, which is repayable in installment. But when a loan is taken from the bank or any financial instruments, classification matter. What is classification? First 12 months treated as current liability, more than 12 months treated as non-current liability. That's a classification issue. What is the recommendation? Review financial statement to ensure only the first 12-month liability loan is treated as current liability, more than 12 months is treated as non-current liability. That we need to check. It's very important. So those are the things which comes under what audit risk. Explain 5 items included in the working paper. The 5 items, yes, preparer, subject matter, introduction, who reviewed, reviewer, right, and also the year end. Also the year end. These are the matters you should focus when it comes to working paper. Question number 18, if you take, they ask first question, explain the auditor's responsibility related to fraud and error. See here, explain the auditor's responsibility related to fraud and error. Fraud and error we discussed ISA 240 standard. It clearly said the primary responsibility is with whom? Management. And how management fulfill their responsibility? By developing sound controls, and also adapting a culture which communicate fraud is wrong. All these things that management should do to ensure, yes, it is met, the responsibility is met. So that is the answer you should give here. ISA 240 standard. Describe substantive procedures auditor should perform related to revenue. Already we discussed this in the class. So substantive procedures over revenue. So normally when we are talking about this substantive procedures over revenue, how we going to check substantive procedures? Revenues is a P&L element, cut off, occurrence, accuracy, all these things will be tested. Right? Describe substantive procedure auditor should perform in relation to receivable. So it is not a difficult question because verb is substantive procedure and they asked to perform over receivables. Describe substantive procedures over sales related bonus. Sales related bonus, how we going to verify? How we going to check sales related bonus? Sales related bonus, how we going to check? Simply if you take sales related bonus, we can take the bonus calculation from the client. And agree to revenue figure in order to ensure uh, accuracy. Right? And also what we can do is sales bonus percentage to board minutes to confirm it is approved at board level. And recalculate the sales related bonus to confirm arithmetical accuracy. And inspect post year end payments, right, to confirm the bonus is expensed. Audit is nearly complete and the audit report is due to sign next week. So we are in the active duty period. Your testing of revenue identified material amount of fictitious sales. Fictitious sales means it's a manipulation of financial statement. The matter has been discussed with management and they have adjusted the financial statements accordingly. Your testing of receivables concluded with the debts over 6 months old are likely result irrecoverable debt should be written down. Management has agreed to make an allowance of 390,000. So if you take the receivables overstated, suppose if it is not additional allowance, and also here see if you look at 390,000 is the allowance, whereas 9.2 million PBT into 100. So here if you look at the percentage wise, if you see 4.2%, which is obviously not material, right? So this is not material. Opinion is true and fair view, and financial statement give true and fair view. That is the opinion we should give here. Since the marks is 2 marks, no need to write in detail, but the opinion is what? True and fair view. Right. Now students, even in my class group, I shared answer scheme. Can you please check whether you all received or not? Indian students, I shared with Anas. Can you please check if you received the answer scheme? If you received, please said yes. Okay, students, with that point, I'll stop for the day. Fine. So if you have any questions, doubt, talk to me. Right. I'll reply. Right. If I didn't reply, again, please remind me. Right. So it's the question. Which one? Afsal, can you tell me what is the question? 1 minute, 1 minute. I'll check. I'll check. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Wait. I'll share. Now check. It's a mistake. Now check. Did you all received? Right. One more mock paper is there. One more mock paper is there. I'll share that mock paper most probably today night in the both groups. If I didn't share, remind me. I'll share. Okay. With that point, I'll stop for the day. Try and be prepared for exams. If you have any questions, talk to me. Next 1 week till your exam, I'll be at Colombo PPIM. So those who wants to meet me, you can come there. Right. And practice more questions. Have doubts, please talk. Right. Thank you very much.